Morning, everybody. Welcome to our Maximise Your Membership webinar today. Lovely to see lots of people coming through our virtual door to watch our webinar, which is being recorded, so there will be a video. Okay, great. We'll get started. My name is Ness Gale and I work for the FSB as an events coordinator. And we also have Beth Dole with us today, who is also an events coordinator, and she's doing all of the technical stuff in the background. This event is designed for everybody really, whether you're already an FSB member and you want to get the most out of the benefits that we provide, or if you're a new member and you're not quite sure what you get for your membership, or if you are considering joining FSB and you really don't know too much about it at all. We'd love to tell you more about it. If you're not already a member, please get in touch with us at some point and we can go through all the details in a lot more detail individually for us. It's a great time to join FSB because it's the spring, which is lovely, and we've got the sunshine flooding in, and we have a 15% discount, especially for the spring, and it's only running until the end of this month. So if you're not already a member, it would be a great time to find out more and to start. Okay, so what we're going to do, we have a panel of experts who are going to go through different types of membership benefits. So they're all experts in their fields and they're going to be giving you lots of information. We don't have a chat box today, so you can't put any details in the chat, but you can ask any questions. If you've got any questions that arise as we're talking, please add them to the Q&A box. And at the end of this session, we will go through all the questions and answer as many of them as we can. We like to leave about a quarter of an hour at the end for all of your questions. Okay, so we've got a very quick video just to give you a quick run through some of the benefits very, very quickly, just a flash video, which will kind of hopefully whet your appetite for more details. Lovely. Thanks, Beth, for running the video. I hope that's given you a little flavour of some of the things we're going to be talking about. We've got our panel. We've got Rajan Naran, and he is a regional sales manager for the FSB. We've got Anne-Marie Rose, who is a tax advisor for Markle Tax. And we've got Katie Fremantle, who is the Managing Director of FSB Insurance Service. Each of those are going to give you a little chat, tell you a little bit more. And without further ado, we're going to start with Rajan. He's going to give you a run through some of the main FSB benefits of membership. Over to you, Rajan.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Ness, and hello, everyone. Well, if you're a current member of the FSB, then if you've been with us for more than 2 years, there's been a number of different changes we've had. I think the best way to really explain for the people that aren't FSB members what it is that you actually get, and I essentially call it the 4 pillars. That's basically how we can help, how we can support. First one is policy. So as Beth has just mentioned there, Ness has just mentioned, we've got a lot of lobbying going on. We've got the day payments bill that's coming into play, which we've been lobbying for the last 20 years. That's coming to light. So everything that's done nationally and locally, so all your local councils, so whether it's business rates, parking, antisocial behaviour, anything that's affecting your business, we want to know. And as a member, you can actually come to us and we can go to government or local council for you. So policy is a massive part, and it's really our bread and butter. It's where we come from and it's what we're passionate about. Next one there is networking. So you saw in the clip in the video, we do a number of different events. There's roughly about 1,000 events, I think, last year up and down the country, boot camps, subject matter experts, basically where business owners can engage with each other, like-minded, be able to do business with each other, grow their networks, and it gives you the chance to put your business on a pedestal and obviously gain new members and new customers for your own business. The other two areas are probably the biggest reasons why people join. So you've got the legal support side. So that's legal protection, £100,000 of cover per case, as mentioned in the video. Tax investigation, which is another £100,000. And there is a whole host of different services and products within there that there to protect you. Something as simple as jewelry service, whereby we can pay you up to £250 per day every time that you're taken out and having to conduct jury service. If you're self-employed, there's nothing out there to support you for something like that. So that's there, and the legal department is backed up with a legal hub. So it has contracts of employment, it has company policy documentation, health and safety. Everything you need to be compliant is on the hub. And then you've got a legal helpline that's available 24/7 to back that up. So that way we keep you legal and compliant. The last pillar is preferential rates. We have over 150,000 members currently. What that allows us to do is a little bit of negotiation with our partners. So we go out to market, we try and find the best services and products that you would need as a business. So business banking, merchant services, insurance, pensions and payroll, all the way up to some of the newer products that we do that I'll talk about later, like healthcare and training. But all of these products have been put in at a preferential rate. So what we're trying to do is reduce your cost of doing business. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you a little bit of a snippet of the different ways that we can help you grow your business or actually, maintain it. And as I say, we're going to be available for Q&As later, and I'll be back later just to mention a couple more of those services for you that you should be really benefiting from as a member of the FSB. Thanks, Ness.
Well, thanks very much, Rajan, for giving us that little whistle stop tour. Brilliant, and you mentioned lots of things there, and I'm sure people will have questions for a bit more detail. I think that bit about the policy, because we actually do really make a difference, don't we? And that is so good, because I like to think FSB is a big voice for small businesses. On your own, you're just one voice, but joined with everybody and coming through us, you are a big voice, and the government and all other stakeholders, local authorities, they take notice of us, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, if you were to think about it, you've got the new legislation coming in, so the new HR laws as of
Yeah.
next month, and we were instrumental in actually negotiating that. So for those of you that weren't aware, the new government wanted day one rights for every single employee that you took on. And that meant that from day one, whether they fell pregnant, whether they did anything, it meant that you would have to pay them out, especially if they were sick or they're unfortunate in that manner. We've actually been able to negotiate that to 6 months. So that's the kind of leverage we have. We're in Parliament pretty much every day. Our advisors, our policy advisors are pretty much there absolutely every day. Our offices are in St James's, and Downing Street is probably the two main doors that we visit, probably 2 to 3 times, whether it's Tina or one of the other leads in our team. But as I say, that is why we exist. We lobbied for national insurance contributions in 1974, and we've never stopped really looking at the business owner and trying to be that voice and trying to be the loudest of voices. So small membership, big voice is definitely the way that we are for sure.
Yeah, it's great because somebody's got to look out for small businesses. It's really hard out there. It's really
Indeed.
difficult. And somebody needs to be there being that voice. And we've recently had some success with debt chasing debts from big companies, haven't we? Which has been
Indeed,
something.
late
Late
payments.
payments.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that's been on our manifesto for the last 20 years. We've been
Mm.
lobbying it hard. The government took recognition and recognized it last year, and now they're actually putting it into policy. So that's a massive win, but it's been 20 years in the making. But it just basically means that the small business owner has the same rights as these massive conglomerates. So 28 days, not 90 days, which means,
Yeah.
guess what? Business owner can run his business efficiently without having to go into debt to try and do business every day.
Yeah, so it's all about cash flow, isn't it? And it's so important that people get paid on time. So that's
Absolutely.
a big win for the FSB. I'm really proud to be able to mention that. Um, Lovely. Well, we've got lots more we can talk about later, Rajan, I know, and I'm hoping that people will be putting questions in so that we can address those later as well. Thank you very much. We're now going to turn over to Katie Fremantle. She's the Managing Director of FSB Insurance Service, and she's going to tell you lots about this very important benefit. Over to you, Katie.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me join the session today. Hopefully, Beth, if you don't mind, start sharing my slides for me. FSB Insurance Service was created in 2018 by FSB, using the expertise of some existing FSB members to fill a gap in the market. Most small businesses are being sent to large contact centres, buying online without having sought advice. FSB thought it was not before time to provide an FCA regulated commercial insurance delivery firm. It's designed to provide a more tailored
Katie, we're having a little problem with your speaker.
complex members. Some of the small memberships.
We're having some problem hearing you,
Oh,
Katie.
apologies.
It's
Okay,
something.
is that
I
all
think
right?
that sounds a bit better. Yeah, we can hear it sometimes, but then
Is that
it's sort of
okay?
a little bit wobbly. Yeah, that sounds better. Thank you.
Is that okay? Do you want me to start again, or should I just continue where I was?
If you wouldn't mind starting again, because I think we may have missed just a little bit.
No problem at all. So, FSB Insurance Service was created in 2018 by FSB, using expertise of existing FSB members to fill a gap in the market. Most small businesses being sent to large contact centres or buying online without having sought advice. FSB thought it was high time to provide an FCA regulated commercial insurance advisory firm designed to provide a more tailored service to its many diverse and often complex members. We do find that sometimes the smaller the member, actually, the more complex their requirements are, because they're entrepreneurs and they try to cram in quite a lot of activities. And trying to find suitable insurance solutions can be tricky, and especially if you're using an online platform where you're only able to select one or two trade activities. So FSB started with a 30% increasing that to 49% in 2023, having deemed the project a success. And over the years, we've grown in the insurance world, as well as being multiple award winners. So having achieved recognition in categories from Startup of the Year, Best Affinity Broker, Customer Champion, through to Diversity and Inclusion. Thank you very much, Beth. I've just seen your message. Is it okay now?
It seems better now.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, it seems a lot better now.
Good.
Thank you.
Lovely. So insurance is not a simple product to buy, many small firms being just as complex in the range of expertise as many large businesses. FSB Insurance Services is a very
No,
simple
you've gone
management
wobbly again.
commercial.
Sorry. Sorry,
It's not going
Katie.
well today, is it?
No, I tell you what, we'll switch to Anne Marie just for a minute, and then hopefully you can reset your sometimes if you go out and come back in again or something like that, might reset
Yeah,
your microphone.
will do. I might join from a different device.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Katie. There's always a way around it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that, everyone. We'll go to Anne Marie, and you can tell us all about the tax investigation benefit that we offer.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again, Ness, for inviting us to be a part of these events. To give a bit of background, I've previously worked for HMRC for around 7 years. My previous roles, I worked as a compliance officer within Wealthy Compliance, where I handled HMRC inquiries and tax investigations. After that, just before leaving HMRC, I worked as a technical advisor within Individuals Policy Directorate within HMRC. which was dealing with queries on interpretations of the tax legislation, writing HMRC guidance, and dealing with submissions in relation to ongoing inquiries and also attending tribunals. I've currently been working for Markel Tax as a part of the tax investigations team for about a year and a half. The majority of the tax investigations team were previously employed by HMRC. And the head of our tax investigations team within Markel is actually an ex-inspector of taxes from within HMRC. So Markel Tax has been providing support and assistance to FSB members for, I think, around 25 years or more now. And the team as a whole has handled the plus 1,500 inquiries for FSB members now. So I'll start off a bit explaining about the FSB member benefits that come with Markel Tax. So it includes tax protection cover is included with your FSB membership. We also offer support when you need it most. If you get a tax or VAT inquiry from HMRC, we are here to help. We are a representation scheme, which provides an important buffer between yourself and HMRC. Any accountant costs are covered where necessary and pre-authorised from the claims team. We usually offer a robust defence system or defence when needed. And overall, our role is to support and achieve the best outcome possible for yourself. This is all free. There's no cost to yourself and there's no additional catches. So some things to know about HMRC. HMRC is an information-led organisation. HMRC has access to a lot of information from third-party data, banks, credit card providers, and other government departments such as Land Registry, the Valuation Office, and overseas entities now. So HMRC's access to data is now more than ever before. They're getting access to more data every year. And they're using that to be as much resourceful as they can be in the process of dealing with tax inquiries for individuals and businesses. HMRC also has access to social media, websites, and any information that's available in the public domain. So it's always good to be careful with what you put online regarding yourself and your business. HMRC also has an internal tool called Connect. This itself has 55 billion pieces of data, which is used to make risk-based analyses in supporting their inquiry work. In terms of the HMRC inquiry process itself, they can be in relation to one particular aspect of a tax return, or they can cover all aspects of a tax return. HMRC will usually focus on one accounting period. However, there are instances where they can push boundaries, which is why it's important to know your rights. And when you don't know your rights, it's important to ask us for help. HMRC will normally request information within the inquiry process, such as private bank statements, company bank statements, receipts, invoices for any expenses claimed. There are also instances where HMRC may request meetings, and it's also important to note that these meetings are not always mandatory. So again, it's always best to ask if you're unsure. Additionally, it's important to note that with all inquiries, dialogue and cooperation is important. Generally, we found that cooperation not usually helps to ensure a smooth process with HMRC, whereas non-compliance is looked at more sternly. With all inquiries where HMRC finds inaccuracies, there's the possibility of penalties being charged. HMRC determines these penalties based on the behaviour of an individual involved or the company that they're looking into at that given time. They will also consider if the inaccuracies are found based on an individual who's, on consideration of the facts and the information available, has taken reasonable care, whether they've been careless or if they've acted deliberately in the completion of their tax affairs. We always challenge HMRC's view based on the facts of each inquiry, especially in instances where we do not agree that the members' behaviour is in line with HMRC's view, which is why sometimes having representation is very important. To give a few examples of inquiries that we've dealt with on behalf of FSB members, there was one inquiry where I had an online content creator where HMRC were concerned that the member's full income had not been reported. On review of the client's bank statements, there were some amounts that they found and they believed that should be included as income. Some of these transactions we considered were gifts and should not be included as her income as a content creator. They were concerned with some of the expense costs and that some of them were not wholly and exclusively for the business. And the accountant had incorrectly used the Scottish taxpayer status for a UK taxpayer. This resulted in the actual member being charged or an assessment reimbursed for around 100, well, around 40k in additional tax. After a thorough analysis completed by myself and us representing the member, we were able to get that tax liability reduced down to around £2,500 without a penalty being charged. So another example was an inquiry into a manufacturing company. HMRC were concerned with a super deduction claim that was being made and wanted to check the allowances that were claimed. There was the potential tax liability again of 85k when they'd completed their review. And we carried out a full review of the claim. We provided an explanation and supporting evidence to HMRC, which then led to HMRC conceding that tax liability and no additional tax liability being due at all. So these are two examples that show that having our assistance resulted in positive outcomes for the members. We would always recommend that if you're unsure or if you do get a letter from HMRC, you contact the claims team and make a claim as soon as possible, as it's better for us to be involved from the outset of an inquiry with the HMRC. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or any members of the team via LinkedIn, or you can contact us via the Markel Tax Investigations webpage.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Those examples are quite scary, aren't they? And to realise that you've got something like the FSB on your side when something like that is going on,
Yeah.
that must be a massive relief for people, because it's a scary situation. And is it about £100,000 of cover that you get with the FSB?
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
it's
know
really
that
good.
it's really good. So I know I've heard that some people pay their accountants separately for this kind of service,
They
and if
do.
they're an FSB member as well, and they haven't necessarily realised that they get it for free as part of their membership
FSB cover.
package.
Yeah.
So no need to pay separately for it. That's something. And as you said, the real important thing is if anything does happen, if you get anything come through from HMRC, contact you straight away, right at the beginning, so that
Yeah.
you can get involved and take it forward. And what
Exactly.
a weight off of your shoulders, really. And to know that most of the people there at Markel Tax are ex-HMRC people themselves, like you. So you know exactly how the HMRC are going to go about things.
Yeah.
So yeah, a really amazing benefit, and thank you very much.
No, thank you for having us.
That's really great, and hopefully people can put questions into the Q&A box as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Katie, how are you doing
Yeah,
now?
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, well, sounds good to me at the moment.
Would you want me to start again for a third time? What do you think people grasped the
I think
first
maybe they
slide?
grasped the first slide, yeah, but
Okay.
thank
I
you.
won't torture them any further. But apologies everyone. Just shows laptops aren't always that great, so I've just reverted back to my phone. So apologies.
Oh, okay. Well, it's coming through loud and clear now. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you, Beth. And yes, so insurance is not a simple product to buy. Many small firms are just as complex in their range and expertise as many large organisations and businesses. FSB Insurance Service has got a simple mantra for members looking for commercial insurance to give advice so that members are properly covered, selling products which will deliver when called upon at a price that represents good value. It's vitally important to be properly insured having taken advice. As well as I sit on the British Insurance Brokers Association SME Advisory Board. Try saying that quickly. And our CEO is on the Financial Conduct Authority's Smaller Business Practitioners panels. We want to make sure that we're up to date, current on important insurance matters, and then that we're able to then relay those out to our members as well. So we create a lot of blogs, and that is on our LinkedIn. So please go and find us. And follow us, and then obviously you can reshare that information as well, and take some really good useful bits of information. Thank you, Beth. So when we first started, GDPR had just come in, so we were very cautious about how we access the database. As a separate limited company, it was decided that we would create something called a registration. So what we have put in place is a right of membership service exclusive to FSB members, and all members can register to use it. So those of you who are members and those of you who are yet to become members, you will not have access to our services straight away. You need to provide us explicit consent effectively. So whether you're doing it online, speaking to the contact centre or with a membership advisor, basically we just need your permissions to contact you along with your commercial renewal date. And as soon as we get that consent from yourselves, we'll provide you with a welcome pack from us, a welcome email, and you'll be classed as a registered member with FSB Insurance Service, which is point 2 of on the left-hand side. And then only when you purchase a policy from us would you actually become a customer of FSB Insurance Service. However, on the right-hand side, you have access to these benefits straight away from when you register. So that is everything from a business continuity planning toolkit, which is amazing in the event of a disaster. It basically puts everything out into place for you in the event of suffering such an incident and not knowing where to start, really. So whether that's having to relocate, having to get temporary equipment, what to do with your staff. 10 free annual credit checks, which is amazing. A lot of members actually decide to do that on themselves as well. But also if you're ever to take on a new customer, provide credit, then that's a fantastic tool. Free online commercial property valuation indication. It's something that we need to make small business owners be more aware of, is that if you own your commercial property, it's not the sale or purchase value that you need to insure it for. You need to take into consideration the rebuild cost, but that also includes legal fees, solicitor fees, architectural fees, but also debris removal as well, which is quite easily to forget. Timber alone in the last sort of 5 or 6 years has increased to about 70%. And there are a significant amount of small businesses who are underinsured. So that's another point as to why we're heavily focused on being an advisory brokerage. We want to be able to discuss and educate small businesses. We're professionals in insurance, you're professionals in what you do, and that's the whole parcel of how we get making sure that policies are suitable for our customers. Thank you, Beth. So FSB Insurance Service last year, we are now selling over 70 different insurance products using 100 different specialist providers. Over the first few years of its existence, FSB Insurance Service has been adopted as their insurance support by thousands of FSB members. More members buying insurance through every year with an amazing conversion rate and renewing at a great rate as well. So we're really appreciative of the members for putting their trust in us. And I'm really pleased to say as well that if you have a look at our Google reviews, we're coming up to about 200 reviews now, to the point where our marketing chap's actually getting frustrated that it's spot on 5-star, because he doesn't want anyone to think that they're obviously inflated. I can assure you they're all 100% correct. And we just like to provide service, and you'll find that actually quite a lot of the reviews aren't always about saving money, but it's making sure that we're educating, holding hands, and actually talking through to members of the insurance policies they're taking out, whereas a lot of sales now are going online or not having the advice that they require. As I mentioned, we're partnered with the top insurers. That's growing as we see diverse members coming to us. We want to try to facilitate as many members' insurance requirements as possible. We have over 40,000 members registered with us as part of the registration process that I mentioned earlier. We fielded 16,000 calls, and we've got an enviable net promoter score, actually classed as world class, which is incredible, and especially in the insurance industry, which is pretty much unheard of, as well as brilliant audit scores as well, making sure that we're compliant and treating customers fairly. Thank you, Beth. I've mentioned already advisory services, so that is us providing advice. Non-advisory is if a member was to go online and really left to their own devices to select a policy for them. We do have a very small quote and buy offering. This is for the very straightforward risks, I would say, and if you're 100% confident of what you're purchasing. However, we don't hugely advertise it because we do want to speak to the membership. We've got a couple of scenarios that have happened recently. We had a pub and restaurant who purchased a liability policy recently, and from the name of it I was quite aware of what they're up to, and I had a look on their website and I couldn't see anything down for this trade of which they selected, which was catering. So I called them and I asked what they're up to, and they said they're a pub and restaurant. And I said, well, you've taken out this catering policy. What's that for? And they confirmed because they couldn't find the right trade, and that is a huge issue for us. And that policy was a total waste of money, and we got refunded, and we replaced it onto the correct pub and restaurant package. We've also actually recently had a marketing firm to purchase an office policy. They'd incorrectly insured the building when they were just the tenant, and they'd also put themselves down as an accountancy firm. So they're quite significant errors here, and they wouldn't have been made aware unless they actually spoke to us. We also need to take into consideration when businesses adapt and change and grow. We need to be made aware of these things, and sometimes you can't grow sufficiently with online capabilities. And you need to actually speak to someone. I mean, COVID and the pandemic, sorry to mention it, but that was the perfect example of when we've had various businesses having to change their circumstances in order to bring an income. I think one of our best examples was a gin distillery suddenly turning into manufacturing hand sanitizer. So it's just making sure that we're conversing with the members and making sure that the policy that they have is sufficient. Thank you, Beth. And then really the last slide is just to highlight that we're doing good as well. As a new brokerage, we appreciate that a lot of people are investing their trust in us, but we want to make sure that we're investing in others as well. Every year we select a different charity to support, everything from helping seriously ill children and their families, cancer support, learning disabilities, dementia carers. Last year we actually raised over nearly £20,000 for dementia carers and actually received our network's Community Impact Award. So we just want to make sure that we're highlighting that we are trying to support local charities as well, and being dotted across the UK, that does leave us open to being able to help a magnitude of charities. So please do shout if you've got any questions. I hope that's given you a bit of a run through of the insurance service, and thank you, Ness.
Thank you, Katie, and that was great. That was loud and clear.
Good, thank you. Sorry.
No, it wasn't your fault. These things always happen with technology, don't they, from time to time? It's how we get around it, and you did brilliantly. Thank you so much. So people need to register. That's something I got from what you're saying, because it's not automatic, but registration doesn't cost anything, does it? So if you remember, just register, and then you get access to all those other benefits that you mentioned.
Totally free. And then if you just let us know your commercial renewal date, we'll contact you at the right time. So if you are a member already, if you just go onto the website and then you can just fill in a registration form online, and we'll get that instantly. You'll be registered this afternoon and you'll receive access to all of those benefits that I mentioned.
Brilliant. The 10 free credit checks, that sounds really useful. The business continuity plan, which a lot of small businesses don't have. And if something happens, you're quite unprepared. And just getting your insurance checked to make sure that you actually do have the right cover for what I've heard of somebody who was in fact, I think it's Rajan who told me this, who was a window cleaner and had taken out a policy and hadn't realised, not with FSB obviously, but had taken out a cheap online policy and hadn't realised that he wasn't covered for climbing ladders. And that's the sort of
scary,
thing that,
actually, how often these things come up. Very
yeah.
scary.
So it wouldn't be covered at all. So what a waste of money. And then if something happened, totally not going to get paid out.
Absolutely, and we're an advice line as well. So if any members who are registered with us have any queries at all, and we can't speak on behalf of their insurers or to their insurers on their behalf, but
No.
if there's any questions or queries that they might have on their policy, and just for an opinion, we're able to assist with that as well.
Great. Okay, that's really good. So if you are a member, do register with the FSB Insurance Service so that you've got access to all of that. And it's world-class service. So congratulations on your world-class service.
Thank you.
And all the work that you do for charity as well, which is lovely to hear that you're giving something back to the community as well. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Katie. Rajad, have you got anything else to tell us?
Well, what can I say on that? Yeah. Yes, indeed. Indeed. So, as you heard from Katie there, and you also heard from Anne-Marie, those are the legal aspects, and those are the bits that you're going to need on a regular basis, and you should have in place, obviously, if you're going to be in business. funny enough, I was reading some of the Q&As, and one of them was on one of the topics that I'm just about to talk about. And the two products or the two benefits that I would like to really highlight at the moment. First one is healthcare. Second one is training. The third one, which is occupational health, which is again something very new, but something that is not very much focused on businesses that have less than 10 staff. So FSB have been able to put a healthcare package together for every member out there. It's £39 plus VAT for yourself. And it actually includes your spouse, so your partner and your children. And what it actually does is it not only gives you access to the healthcare benefits such as a GP online who can prescribe you drugs and actually get you the prescription you need as quickly as possible. So none of this waiting for your local GP. It'll also give you a whole load of lifestyle bits in there as well, such as discount on gyms and so on and so forth. And the other aspect of it is actually giving you discounts on your local shopping. So your Morrisons, your Tesco's, all your high street stores, what they've been able to do is pick up a preferential rate. You would actually be able to purchase these vouchers through the healthcare system, through your app, and you actually get that discount. So it's actually helping you to reduce the cost of actually doing your weekly shop, which my wife is very happy about. But in essence, the idea behind the healthcare is that it's never really been focused on business owners that had less than 10 staff. So most didn't even know it existed. But you're able to actually enhance your membership by offering that to your staff as well. So it's something that you can manage. The back office of it has a new part to it, which is whereby it actually does an HR function for you as well. So you can track your employees, you can do their sick days, their holiday days, and manage all of that. So all of these are over an additional, just for that £39 additional to the FSB membership. To do that, you just go onto the website and go onto the healthcare action and log on and register there. If you've joined through a membership advisor, please, I would encourage you to put their name in there. And actually just highlight them, because again, it just recognizes them on our side. But the product itself is phenomenal, and it ties in really well with the occupational health. So on this one, you get physio help and so on and so forth to a certain degree of value. And the occupational health is that rehabilitation. That is that one-to-one. That is that over and above that your boopers and so on would do. I would probably put a comparison to. And that's available again through the membership at a preferential rate. And again, if you go onto the website, look under the healthcare, and you'll actually see the options and the list of costings as well. The last one I wanted to put across was training. CPD training courses, which are absolutely value for money, top of the list. Imagine having 700 courses at your fingertips. So you're talking about health and safety courses in there. You're talking about productivity, how to manage your staff better. You're talking about Excel, how to be the best at PowerPoint. All of these are in there with training courses. And as a member, it costs you £85 a year to access every single one of them. Now put that into your working life, where going back to what I mentioned before, the compliant aspect of what we do, that's actually cutting a lot of the training courses that you have to do for your staff every year. You can incorporate into this. And again, they're able to access every course. You're able to manage and see when they've taken it, what their scores were, where their down points were. So you're actually able to manage and coach your staff to be better, to be more productive, and actually feel more valued. Because at the end of the day, we're in a culture now, we need to really show value to our staff for them to feel that they value us, and they want to retain with you, and they want to grow. So the training aspect of it is really good. It's fantastic. It's done by Skills Training Academy, which is all online. If, however, you wanted to have a face-to-face and an instructor coming out, they do that as well. It just needs to speak to either your membership advisor, or if you call the customer services helpline and have a chat with them, they'll be able to point you in the right direction of finding out what the costings and stuff would be for that as well. Again, every single course that you would do, or every product or service or benefit that we would give to you, will always be at a preferential rate. So I haven't to date found £89 that anything cheaper than that for 700 courses, which are all CPD qualified. I'd love to find out if anyone out there knows of any, but hey, it's a really, really good product as a standalone for you to grow the people that you've got, upskill them, help them be better at what they do, help them to, achieve their goals. Because when you do that, they help you to achieve yours. So I hope that was helpful. So you've got the legal aspect, you've got the preferential rates. These two are there just adding benefit to really what a great job you guys are doing as members of the FSB, running your businesses with all those hats involved. We're there to take those off so that you can focus on being the subject matter expert you are. Thanks again, Ness, for the time. And obviously, I'll be open for any questions on the Q&A as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Rajan. Wow. Those are amazing benefits, aren't they? And I think also not just for the member, but they can offer those to their staff as not necessarily we can give pay rises at the moment, perhaps, but we can offer extra things. So make your staff feel happier, happy staff. They're going to stay with you. You're going to keep your staff, and they're going to be with the training courses. They're going to be more skilled. It's just great to be able to offer that to your staff as well, and also the healthcare package. If you can offer that to your staff, that's going to be really, really great for them.
It is, and I think that's where we've added these values into the membership. Let alone the factor of being able to do someone's pensions and payroll for £5 a payslip, which is, I mean, nothing. But generally, when we speak to business owners, it takes them 2 to possibly 3 days out of their month just to get their payroll in order. And if that's for 4 staff, that's going to cost them £20 a month, and it's done. And they've actually got that productivity back in their months. I mean, imagine what they'll be able to achieve for those 3 days, as opposed to the 30 or the £20 it costs to get the payroll done. So there is so many benefits to FSB, but this is a membership, and the factor is that as a member, you need to help yourself. So you need to go on the site. You need to just go and have, to familiarize yourself, because you only know what you know. You don't know what you don't. And that's where FSB come into play to help you understand what you don't know.
Yeah, that's really good advice, actually. Go onto the website, have a look and see what's on there, what's listed. And if you're interested in any of those, just give the customer service team a call, give me a call, Rajan. We're all here to help you. And like you say, you only know what you know, what you don't know.
Exactly that, as I say, so that's why we're all on LinkedIn, guys. You've got our names up here. Connect with us or drop us a line. Be more than happy to connect, and more importantly, we'll help you achieve your goals, which is what we want to do.
Yeah, exactly what we want to do. I was just thinking there, we haven't mentioned the local aspect. We have got local people who are on the ground in the whole of the UK.
Indeed.
And they deal with local support, if there are things that are going on in your local area, and they can take it.
Exactly. So you've got 2 aspects in each area. Thanks for mentioning that, Ness. You've got the RBSMs, which are regional business and stakeholder engagement. So they really, really are engaged in all the events that go on with FSB in the local areas, with each local council. They're really engaged with all the local members as well, and they have a host of volunteers that work with FSB to make all of our events such a success. You also have what we would call our hard sales, which are all self-employed business owners. So we've got membership advisors up and down the country covering everything from Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and the United Kingdom, whereby they will come out, they will sit down, they will consult, they'll give you a business review. They will help you to see if FSB can help you. So for those people that aren't members at the moment and would prefer that person to come down and really, put the world to rights over a coffee and find out if there's any, support that's available, drop a note to myself again, drop a note to customer services, just highlight where you're based, and what we'll be able to do is find a local membership advisor to come down, have a visit, and really just give you a little bit more information and maybe
Mm.
structure because, we've not mentioned funding, debt recovery. We've got three different types of a bank account that are
Yeah.
available. We've got
Yeah.
tax digital. We've got so much in our armory, but again, 35 minutes, 40 minutes is never going to be enough to really
No.
give you the length and breadth. But as a member, you've done it. You've signed on the dotted line. You've committed yourself for a year. So now start using it. Start
Exactly.
getting a return on that investment
Mm.
that you saw in us. So whether that is by picking the phone up and speaking to a legal representative or actually using one of the debt recovery letters that have a
Yeah.
phenomenal, return rate, a success rate on them. And they're brilliant. They're able to download and people that I've spoken to, business owners in London, in Southwest London enough, bathroom shop, basically had an issue whereby the final 20% that he would be taking off his customer was the last payment he'd ever get. So if he was doing a
Yeah.
55 or 35 or a £60,000 refit, that's like 10, £12,000 outstanding. He used the
Yeah.
FSB, he joined, he used the FSB letters. His debt when we met him was sitting at about £160,000. At this
Wow.
moment in time, it's 12.
Oh, gosh.
And he didn't
Yeah.
have to pay a bailiff. He didn't have to pay for legal. It was
Yeah.
there. And it's all really easy to understand. The letters on the hub, it highlights to you what you need to put in your name, their name, the amounts and stuff like that. And they are quite scary letters, but that's the
Mm.
whole idea. The idea is
Yes.
for us to help you get your debt back.
Yeah. Great. And it does work. I know it does. That's amazing. Yeah.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rajan.
No
We've
problems at
covered
all.
lots. Um, we do have some reviews on our Trustpilot page. We haven't really got time to go through them now, but we are rated excellent on Trustpilot. And what I'd love you to do is to go onto it's just FSB Trustpilot, just search, have a look at some of the reviews, and please add to the reviews. We are really happy to hear from people. So if you would like to do that, that would be great. What I'm going to do, because we've got quite a few questions, so I'm going to go straight over to the questions and let's see how many of these we can get answered. So we've got a question about policy and lobbying. Somebody who's a member has said that there are actually too many barriers that we need to engage government with. How can we start dialogue in FSB to see if it's something that we could support? This is all about procurement and, winning private and public sector contracts.
Brilliant. So we do a lot of work on this behalf. So what you would need to do if you want to drop drop me a line, more than happy, rajan.naran@fsb.org.uk. What I would be able to do is put you in touch with your local RBSM that can actually get some of those blockers knocked out, and see if we can do some of the procurement that we've done the success with in London, and replicate that up there for you. So no problems. But it will be myself. I'll actually put it in the Q&A. There you go.
Great. Thank you very much. Somebody's saying that they didn't get the experience. Now, I'm wondering if they're talking about insurance or it's a little bit vague. So if you could just, whoever that was, if you could just put a little bit more detail in, then we can ask the right person. So to get back to you. Somebody's asked us, how different is the legal side from a legal insurance? And is it the FSB insurance included in the FSB membership? If not, I'm not sure the difference between other brokers. Katie, could you address that one?
I think it's probably more Rajan, in honesty. So we don't
Is it?
provide
Okay.
legal insurance ourselves. So we try to avoid it because we don't want any overlap. But some of our policies can include legal expenses, but it's not something we proactively sell because there's an element provided through the membership.
Okay. There was a second part to the question, which I think is more general insurance, but we'll come back to that in a second.
Sure. So the legal protection itself is pretty straightforward. We would call it the legal support and legal advice. So you'd have all the legal advice on the telephone 24/7. So you'd call their FSP customer services, tell them what you need with your details. They will go and get the solicitor, barrister, lawyer that specializes in that field to get in contact back to you. And that's there, that's available for absolutely everyone. And then you have the legal support. Legal support is there just as long as there's no pre-existing issue going on. So we're not walking in the middle of a court case or anything like that. But what we would be able to do with the advice aspect of it is the documentation, the follow-up. So, for example, if it was a tribunal, we'd be able to do all the representation for you. And if we have a 51% chance of winning that, or we feel we do, then we pursue it. And that means that we take it right the way through to court. And it'd be the same as the HMRC, whereby we would represent right the way from lock, stock to barrel. Each case has got a value of £100,000. So you can have 3 different cases happen in a year. Be really unlucky if you did, but 3 separate kind of cases, and we will cover each one of those just as long as those stipulations were there. So that's what you would get as just for being a member. And then obviously on the insurance aspect of it, where Katie's involved and so on, they do have that brokerage. They do have the availability for it. Rather than a factor, and we're quite upfront, because FSB part own this, we're already trying to do it at a preferential rate. But what we're trying to do is add value. What we're trying to do is give you the experience that you like. Chances of people speaking to an insurance broker are very, very slim. Chances of them renewing with the one is very, very high, which means they never really have ever queried what they're paying. FSB Insurance allows you to do that. It allows you the option of viewing your documentation to say, you know what, you're not actually insured enough, or you're overinsured, or whatever it may be. And they're able to do that as part of your membership, just as long as you're registered, as Katie mentioned. But then they are able to go to the marketplace. And I believe there's probably a couple of things that you wouldn't probably do, Katie. But I would probably say most, if anything, you'd go out to market and see if you could broker a deal with someone, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for selling us, Raj, and that's great. You've definitely got the memo. Thank you. No, I think Rajan's spot on. I mean, if you're in another affiliation, if you're with like an architecture affiliation, for example, and you get very comprehensive and competitive professional indemnity, I'm not going to say that we're going to beat that. If you are coming to us because you are not sure what cover you need, you want to have a review on the current insurance policy, and hopefully have preferential rates, then that's what we're here for. So not to boast, but to have an 81 NPS score and to have a 5-star Google review, I'm pretty sure that speaks for itself. So the reason why we've been created is because we've got an understanding of FSB members. We're members ourselves. We know what is lacking in the market, and that is unfortunately everyone's going down the non-advisory route, which we don't support. FSB members need help and they need guidance, and that's what we're here for.
Great, thank you very much. Another insurance question. How do I know if I've registered for FSB insurance? And how do I get access to the business continuity plan?
I can absolutely check, but rather than obviously you sharing your private details online, I mean, it wouldn't harm if you were to register for a second time. So it literally takes 30 seconds. So if you go onto the website, then please just enter that information and it will just check. And obviously if you're a duplication, I can get that resent, but I'll have a notification that you've come through to do that.
Yeah, great. And our customer support team would be able to support you as well and let you know, I'm sure. So somebody else's a lovely comment. Somebody's had terrible problems gaining insurance that gives them confidence this is actually going to cover the usual business that they have. So they're really pleased to hear that you may be able to be more specific to their needs. So
Brilliant.
that is a lovely comment. Thank you very much for that. Can the jury service cover be used if you've already been notified of upcoming service prior to joining the FSB?
Take that one again for me, Ness, sorry.
Sorry. Can the jury service cover be used if you've already been notified of upcoming jury service prior to joining?
I would probably say, unfortunately,
No.
not. It's a
Yeah.
pre-existing, it's already in place. So you're kind of doing it
Yeah,
after
that is,
the event, unfortunately. Once the letters land, the letters landed. This
yeah,
is why we say to people, get us in, and if you're ever in doubt, we've always got your back. So yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Unfortunately, not in this case. Yeah, shame. Oh, that's really nice. Somebody's been a member for 21 years and they've won an award and more. Well done. Congratulations. And
That's
who,
it.
who can share my good news at FSB? Is there still a magazine? Maybe FSB would like to feature us.
Indeed, indeed. So again, if you could just drop me a line through LinkedIn or, as I said, rajan.naran@fsb.org.uk. I will be able to link you up with your RBSM in that local area. And yeah, we do newsletters to every council I think every month. We also have First Voice magazine, which is all digital as well. So yes, always happy to speak to members and obviously highlight members when we can, especially when we've got someone like that. More than happy to help.
Great, thank you very much. How do we find out what courses are included in the 700? The training
Fantastic.
courses.
So the training courses, they're available on the FSB website. So it can give you a list and a breakdown. If you're having difficulty with that, pick up the phone to your membership advisor. Quickest, fastest, easiest way. They'll be able to run through them. They'll even be able to send you a list themselves. If again you haven't joined through an FSB membership advisor, or you don't know who your local one is, if you call the customer services helpline, they'll actually point you in the right direction, not only to the list, but also the local representative. So we can come down and run through them and actually really give you a complete understanding of what else we can do for you, not just the courses.
Great, thank you. Somebody is asking about is the person who's a member or is it the business?
Fantastic question. Fantastic. So most people get misconstrued and think that it's the business. It's actually not. It's a personal membership, and
Mm.
it's a personal membership for an entrepreneur. So, for example, if I have 5 different businesses, all in different markets, all in different industries, they're all covered for the same value for each one by one membership. So my one membership would cover all of them. Now, if, for example, and this is another one which is obviously very prominent to where Anne-Marie would come into play, if, for example, I have additional partners in each one of these businesses, then my benefit to secure it and make sure it's fully protected is by making those associate memberships to that business. So if that means they get all the advice, all the help, all the support, just like I would, but only for that business. That's because they're an associate to my membership.
Right.
So a membership, it covers as many businesses as you have. So if you wanted a bank account for each one, you can get them. You can, go to Katie and get your insurance. If you had a problem with any of them with HMRC, each and every one of them will be covered by Anne-Marie and all the other products and services that we offer. The benefits are there for you to achieve what you want. So if you're a serial entrepreneur, as I'm trying to be in this occasion, then it's just the one membership covers all of them.
Brilliant. We've
But I
got,
would just highlight
sorry.
that one point again, that if you are a member and you have another director or someone of authority within the business who's not an associate member, as Anne-Marie will probably highlight now, the business can still get targeted because it's not secured fully. Would that be right, Anne-Marie?
Yes, that's right. They can still be targeted.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
And I think there's a lovely system they have at HMRC at this moment in time, because they apparently troll through a lot of stuff to be able to look into people. I mean, I
Yeah.
heard it was social media they look at. I mean, they could go into absolutely anything these days. Is that right?
Yeah, they're looking into anything they can get their hands on, anything that's in the public domain. That's why I say be careful about what you post online in relation to your personal tax returns
Mm.
or in relation to your corporation tax return and your business as a whole. It's just be very vigilant in what you're posting because HMRC are watching. Yeah.
There you
We've
go.
got a couple more and we've got very little time. So, um, is it the owner or the staff who can take the courses?
Both.
Okay, but each time it's 80,
So
81
if
pounds,
you
isn't
have a
it?
business with, let's say, 5 staff, then and
Yeah.
you wanted all 5 staff to take part in those courses, it would be 5 times the 80. If you speak to your membership advisor, you'll probably get a better discount anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be one sort of registration for all of the courses.
Where can I find the discount information? They can't see it on the hub. That's to do with the healthcare.
With the healthcare itself. So it's in the app itself. So when you look at the registration of the healthcare app and everything, it's actually within the app, and you'll actually see it highlighted under the health and lifestyle. So it's just because there's so many service providers that are linked in to give that preferential rate, because it's from gyms as well, holidays. I mean, you name it, it's in there, but it's in that volume. I'm just highlighting the factor that it's just something that no one ever thought of when they're thinking about healthcare, you know?
Yeah, fantastic. Really quickly, because we're slightly over, can you just, in a nutshell, what's the difference between the FSB and other organisations such as the Chamber of Commerce?
Fantastic. Chamber of Commerce really generally speak to businesses and support businesses that have more than 5, 10 staff onwards. FSB really focus on your micro, your zero, all the way up to 5, 10 staff. So neither of them are a negative or a positive against each other. I don't actually see them as competitors. I work with the chambers in Cornwall, work very, very closely with them. So very different, offering different things is my best sort of answer to that.
Right, well, thank you very much. We are out of time. I hope we've answered all your questions. If you've got anything you want answered, please get in touch. I will be sending out an email, so you'll have my details, and I will be sending a link to the recording of this. So if there's anything you want to see again, you'll have it on the recording. But just to say thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you very much for our panelists for going through everything so thoroughly. And that's, I hope we see you at some of our other networking and webinars and in-person events coming up soon. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
There we are, just us. Oh, that went so fast.
We did go fast. Sorry for my IT issues.
Well, it started off okay, then it went a bit wobbly, then it was okay. So I thought, oh, it's gonna fix itself, and then yeah, I mean you
All
can't
right.
you
I
can't.
think we dealt with it well. It was
I think we did.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for
Good.
going on
Thank
your
you, ladies.
phone, staying calm and going on your phone. That did the job, didn't it?
But it's good that it's not the first time. You'd think that our internet in the office would be better than anything, but it's not, clearly.
No,
No.
no, we find that, don't we?
Yeah.
I think we got through most of the questions. There was one about there's one we didn't quite get through, but somebody says they're going to make the most of their membership now after this webinar. That's really nice.
Good.
Thank you. It's all been very interesting and helpful, so that's nice to hear. And yeah, we haven't had that question about how you're different to other groups, federations and chambers before, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't come up before.
Yeah, I don't think we have. Oh, it was any support in regards to the Employment Rights Bill stuff. Well, there is information on the website, I'm sure, so hopefully they'll find that, but I think we covered everything else. Thank you ever so much. I think it went
Not at
really well.
all.
Yeah, good. We had 60 people on at one stage, which I thought was
Oh,
really
that's
good.
great. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Really good, because I know we had 106 booked on, but we had more than half, so that's pretty good. And obviously, all the people booked on will get the recording anyway, so that's handy.
Great job.
Good job.
No problem.
Yeah, people.
Thank you very much.
It's women power going on here today. Because Rajan's gone, so I can say that. Oh, I hope you have a lovely afternoon, and
Thanks.
thank you
Thanks,
once again.
ladies.
You too.
Thank you
Bye.
ever so much.
Bye. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Ness, very
Yeah.
quickly,
Yeah.
because I've done so we've got with the other national webinars that we've got running, we've got various of the other providers coming to some of those.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously, one thing you could come along to some of them if you wanted to, just to watch and see how they speak and whether you think it would
I
fit in
will. Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I mean some of them might not be best for the kind of, oh, here's a quick overview of all of the all of the
Yeah.
things. Like it's quite nice. We've got a couple more inroads with some of the providers that to be honest, some of them I've never heard of before.
No, that'd actually be
So
really
yeah, we've
useful.
got like Capitalize did the one on managing your financials, and the guy from Capitalize was a good speaker.
Okay.
That's the funding platform.
Yeah.
And we've got like Healthy Shoots and one of the other ones coming up in May or April. We've got two different kind of mental health well-being webinars coming up, and we've got different providers coming to those. So
Yeah. I will be interested. Let me know. And I mean, I've been talking to Sue Holton